Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. This is our December garden walk. This will be the last one of 2022. If you are new here, we are in zone 9B. I'm in Northern California, and we are growing in 3 GreenStalk planters because we can have 3 planters and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we have growing and how everything's doing, and then we will see you back in January. So our first tower here has the 3 Brussels sprouts. We've got this one that's really starting to bud up a little bit. It's so cute, super short and squatty. This is our first time really growing Brussels sprouts. So it's fun trying to figure out the best place for them and so forth. This purple one is gorgeous. Really hoping they taste good. And look, we're getting the little tiny Brussels sprouts started. In between, we have some empty holes that I need to plant still that were radishes. This one right here is radishes. I really need to come out here really soon and start harvesting some of these. You can't really see the roots in there. Trying to get in. Then we have one more Brussels sprout here. And we have been harvesting some of the leaves and adding them to meals. And then we have some more radishes in here. None of these are really ready. Actually, I take that back. There's definitely a big one right there. So we'll probably take that one out. This next row are our rutabagas and turnips. And they have been getting hit really hard. After the weather warmed up, they're starting to get hit even harder with these cabbage loopers. So I am looking for them. And I have found a lot, but I don't think I have found all of them. And then we have some turnips, and the turnips are starting to really bulb up. Still letting it go. I'm really excited about how good those look. I might grab one of those out for our meal coming up here. And then these are some white turnips. So the turnips are bulbing, rutabagas not yet. Rutabagas do take longer. And again, these planters don't get a ton of sun, so we are doing the best we can in the winter months. We've got the beets. They are slow growers, but they are definitely growing. If you have followed along, you know that we are in apartments and we have the complex leaf blowers. So that other side got hit a lot more with leaf blowers. This side did not. And this one just still hasn't done anything. Down here we have some like 60-day variety radishes. These are definitely taking longer than they should, because they're not getting as much sun. Now these are supposed to be sweeter and taste very good after the fall, after frost. And we are definitely getting some frost. So I'm excited to try to peek in here. It's really hard to show in here. To try to peek in here. But they're not ready yet. So I'm just letting these things do their thing. They have definitely had bug damage, but they are hanging. I don't know if I can show you a cabbage looper on here. My guess is when I'm showing a video, I'm not going to be able to find one. So, but I've been picking them off of these pretty consistently. Yeah, nope. Alright, this bottom one are the carrots. I'm letting what's in there still grow. The squirrels have definitely been digging. We had more digging happen, so it is what it is. So that's our first tower. It's predominantly more of the root style veggies. This one over here is also Brussels sprouts on the top. The exact same varieties that are over here. We had one of each. But this one, it's interesting. So this one had 2 in the hole, and they're definitely not growing as well. That radish is creating a tree. It is way beyond time to pull that radish. And then this one has a little bulb. It's actually bulbed up, so it's time to take that one out. But look at this Brussels sprout. It really, I was leaving it, trying to get it to maybe grow up since it's cooled down, but it's not. It's just growing more greens, and it stayed really short and squatty. So I don't see any way that there's going to be able to be Brussels sprouts growing in there. However, the greens are beautiful. So I'm just letting it do its thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. Definitely a big difference from the other ones. I'm going to rotate this back around again. There are some more radishes that are probably ready in this one. These were a shorter day, but I've just let them go. And then this Brussels sprout's fallen over. We had gutter work this last week, and so everything got hit pretty hard. But this one's definitely taller and getting heavier, and you can tell it's leaning, and this is trying to support it up. But aren't these colors just gorgeous? I am seriously in love with these purple Brussels sprouts. They're just vibrant and beautiful, and I'll tell you what, when you get the water beadlets like on here on the purple, it is phenomenal. Actually, I can show you that. It really looks like crystals. There's some on this one. It's really pretty in the morning looking through the window. Okay, so the Brussels sprouts are going on here, and we are starting to get some buds popping up in those crevices. And then this row is mustard. Definitely starting to get eaten, but these green ones are still doing good. I'm coming out here quite frequently and harvesting the biggest leaves as I go. So I have 3 pockets of the green, and I have 3 pockets of this giant red leaf mustard. And again, some of these are being eaten. However, I'm not as worried because I sowed these ones super thick. So these are doing really good, and I'm again picking out here. They're super, super good. The next row is the kale, and these are all blue scotch curly kale. We've got the dino kale, which is really a cabbage. The ragged jack kale that I was like pretty sure we lost is doing really good. I've pulled a few of these leaves off to use on focaccia bread, and that's been really nice. And I've done the same thing with the scarlet kale. They have been just so pretty. I really love the purple in the garden. That scarlet kale is so pretty. This is the lettuce, bronze leaf lettuce. It started getting hit with a pest, but a lot of this damage is also leaf blower. So having this is like the level that the leaf blowers like to hit, and they have definitely been pretty beaten up. So that entire row is my lettuce. And then I have kohlrabis, which really were being hit by leaf blowers, and they have I really didn't think they were going to survive. Now there's no roots, no big bulbs, because these are supposed to be like alien spaceships, but this one's starting to get a little bit thicker, and they're starting to bounce back. So I am kind of excited about that. My Napa cabbage that looked so beautiful that I had protected from most of everything got hit so hard with cabbage loopers when our temperature warmed back up into the 60s. And then, as you can tell, the leaf blowers blew a bunch of stuff into it. So I am still, oh look, we did find one. That's a cabbage looper, my nemesis. So I'm still finding cabbage loopers on these. I just pick them off and squish them. And so I just have to come out here consistently and look at these. Real food comes dirty. I'm still gonna cut these up and use them in my soups and all of that goodness. I am trying to find them because it's cooling back down again. And oop, look, one just fell from one leaf onto another one. That little booger. So I'm well over, I think I'm well over 150 of these guys. And I try, oh, there's another one falling. I try really hard to catch them when they're small like this, so they're only doing a tiny bit of damage. But still, check your plants. You are the best medicine for your garden. So, yeah. Anyway, that's a Napa cabbage. I have some good leaves, some not so great leaves. And then these evergreen strawberries are trying, and I still have those too. They're not fully ripening though. I think this one I'm just gonna have to pick because it's super soft. Oh, yeah, it's split. I've been trying to watch it. So it's not super ripe everywhere, but I'll try that later. I'll check it out. So that's pretty much the only two strawberries still down there. And that's the end of this one. So we had the root planter, and then we had primarily the greens. Now over here, this one has been an interesting experiment. And I probably wouldn't partner all of these things again. But these are the exact same 3 Brussels sprouts that the other ones have. This one doesn't have as much sunlight, which is interesting. And I feel like the Brussels sprouts are growing taller and not as chunky, but they're not as far as the first planter. Like, they have big sprouts, but these have some little ones popping. But my purple one struggled the most over here, so I don't know. My cabbage, I talked about last time that it didn't really head up because we had a lot of warm weather, so it was growing up like the Brussels sprouts. But now it's really starting to produce in the head shape. So I'm using this as cut and come again cabbage. Not as a head of cabbage. Even though it is a head of cabbage, I'm just pulling those outer leaves as I need them. The nasturtiums are just beautiful. And this is what I would not do exactly the same again. So the nasturtiums, I was going to do one like midway on this, and then throw some into the other planters, and I end up throwing a lot onto this one. You can see them all over the place, and I love it. I love how it looks, but it's definitely hiding. Like, my daughter's favorite is the collards, and these are getting pest ridden. But these are growing, but they're definitely more hidden. And then over here as well. So I think I may end up putting some collard seeds over where some of those radishes were in the other container, and seeing if with some more sun we can get them. But it might be too cold now. We're having an unusually cold winter for us, so we'll see what happens. But I am harvesting all the time. We're making the nasturtium chips. I'm adding the cabbages, the Brussels sprout leaves, all the greens I'm adding in all over the place. Down here we have some more lettuce, some Swiss chard. My bok choy kind of died, I think. My strawberries have not produced over here that I'm aware of. They did earlier, but then caterpillars got into them. But I haven't had any more, so we'll see what happens. Either that or the squirrels are taking them really early. The Swiss chard I have been harvesting off of. Again, that bok choy, I think it's just getting hit. This is tatsoi. I think all of this was getting hit with a leaf blower, so there's only so much I can do. This cabbage is definitely on struggle bus here. I think I might need to give it some support. I'll probably cut some of those. So this is what the cabbages would look like if I hadn't harvested it, and I haven't really harvested it, this one. And so I was harvesting all the bottom leaves, but look at that, it's getting really top heavy, and this is what one of my concerns is about it being top heavy, but I'm just going with it with an experiment and just trying to do what we can do and being thankful for the cabbage that I do have. So look at those pitiful little collards. They're trying. They are trying, but months later they're still this size and they have been eaten and attacked, and yeah, I feel bad for them. This is another type of cabbage. It's a different one, so we'll see how that one does as it heads up. This one's starting to head up, but again, this one had damage. It almost looks like there's more damage actually. Nope, I don't see anything. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. Oh, we have some strawberries forming, so maybe we will get some strawberries. Look at how pretty this pink is though. That pink is gorgeous. I'm in love. And then this one is also doing well. So very vibrant and pretty, and I've been picking these off and adding them onto focaccia. So that's kind of where we are with this garden. I did end up taking out the inside garden. I have to clean up my planters. I left one of my tomato plants inside, and then these guys I went ahead and pulled out, and I'm trying to let them ripen up a little bit, but they were actually growing into the light, and with all my Christmas decorations I couldn't do anything to save them at that time, and I couldn't really move them anywhere else. So I got some tomatoes off of them. I'm gonna call it good, keep one going in the kitchen, and then really focus on what's out here. And then we are gonna try some fun new experiments for next year in these, because these towers are for learning for me. They're provisional. They're absolutely providing supplemental food. I get to eat lots of greens. I get to eat root vegetables. And then in the summer, there was a bunch of other stuff we were growing. So through the winter, we're growing something, we're getting stuff. And then come spring, we are going to do a different type of experiment with them, which will end up making sense, I think, later on for you guys. But yeah, so we have some fun stuff coming in 2023, and stay tuned pretty soon, because we are going to be talking about planting the spring garden. Zone 9, we start seeds inside early. So we'll have a lot of gardening content coming at you very soon. I would love to know what you're growing. If you've grown Brussels sprouts, if you've seen the difference, this huge difference in the growth habit of them, depending on where they are. And then also how, if this is normal for containers, because I mean all of these plants are sharing the one container, just the different pockets. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. Thank you for joining us, and if you haven't yet, make sure you go check out the rest of 2022's garden walks. There's all kinds of fun stuff. I am looking forward to eating so many of these beautiful things. And we will see you on the next video. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.